Hi, I'm Mo, and in the Navy!
And I'm TJ, and I know you ate my strawberries, Mo.
And this is...
It's still new to us, damn it!
Welcome to It's Too Nuts, Damn It. I'm Mo, he's TJ, as we just said, and we're here to watch every movie ever made to be invited to parties.
Yes, that is our goal, that is our end game, and
yes.
If you know of any people throwing parties, well, you know to hit us up.
Definitely, yes.
Any parties for you recently?
No. Any for you?
No.
Well, a goal still moves forward then.
Yes.
So as you know, once we invite to a party, this podcast will end.
This podcast... What am I doing?
Yeah.
What is this life about?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
But yeah, this is our attempt to watch every movie ever made.
Yeah.
And, well, again, hit us up.
Hit us up, yeah, definitely. Okay, well, enough of that introduction. Today is now time for the traditional banter time.
Banter time.
Banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure we were doing the beat to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees in there. Banter time. Banter time. Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah.
We should record that.
Yeah, we should. But we never will, so...
No.
It's too late now.
It's taken us weeks to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You think we're going to record shit?
No.
We work full-time jobs. Our lives are living hells.
True. That is true. Okay.
Well, yeah, what's new with you?
New with me? Nothing much. Watching some wrestling, reading some books. I got Paul Shear's new book.
Nice. He's
from
a
the
funny
League.
guy.
Yeah, it's a book on tragedies and stuff. I just read the first chapter. It's kind of rough. It's
Paul
just,
Scheer wrote a book about tragedies?
Yeah, in his life. How he would write about like the funny he would tell stories to people out loud, and he'd think the funny stories, but really people would look at him like, wow, that's really messed up. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I read one about how his stepfather, when they would play Monopoly together, he looked at him and says like, "Don't you fucking charge me," because he was about to go on one of his squares, and so he and he's like, I'm gonna charge you. And then he was like, don't you fucking dare. And then he grabbed him by his neck.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's taking Monopoly a little too far.
Yeah. And then he told a story of how he went to like a dude ranch one time and accidentally almost burned down the place.
Oh, so this is like his comedian origin story.
Yeah.
Okay, well
Definitely.
that sounds interesting. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm still reading like a bunch. I had a book called Unfuck Your Brain. I'm reading comics about a gay underground comic book artist in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Actually really good. I forgot what it was called though. Let's see, movie-wise, I'm watching a bunch of movies besides the one we just watched. Let me just pull up the list real quick. Once again, I am on Letterboxd. You can find me at Michael Mosheri, all one word, capital M's. I watched Millennial Actress. Amazing movie. Timescape. Ever heard of Timescape?
Yes, I have heard of
Oh, it's awesome.
Was it good?
It was good, yeah. Jeff Daniels was great in it. I wish he punched more people.
You know, it's criminal how few things I've actually seen Jeff Daniels in. Yeah, no, I really need to watch more of his vehicles.
Yeah. I watched Unfostered, the Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie.
Oh, please do tell.
It was just okay. I laughed a few times. It's basically Jerry Seinfeld being like, what's the deal with Pop-Tarts?
So wait, so that's the most neutral opinion I've actually heard on it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
I've heard it's either the worst thing in the world or it's funny.
I mean, it's okay. I would give it like a eh.
So that's already the most nuanced approach I've heard.
Yeah.
Well done.
For some reason, there's this one scene where they do like the January 6th attacks, but with like cereal mascots.
Oh, is it really directly
it's like
lampooning?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Hugh Grant plays the chief, the QAnon chief.
Oh Jesus, the shaman.
But he's Tony the Tiger. It sounds funny when you say it, but when you look at it, it's like, this is not funny.
Oh, it does not translate well?
It does not
that's a
translate
shame, because that's actually a really funny concept.
Yeah.
That's a really funny concept. And it takes place near us.
Yeah,
Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yeah.
Home of Rob Van Dam,
Rob
right?
Van Dam, yep.
And Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, yeah. What do you think's more popular, Kellogg's or Bob Van Dam in Battle Creek?
Which dessert? Oh, in Battle Creek.
Yeah.
I'd hate to say it, but it probably Kellogg's because they employ a bunch of people.
Damn it. I don't more people know about Bob Van Dam.
The right people know.
Yeah, the right people know about Bob Van Dam. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I watched other bunch of movies. I watched What a Way to Go, featuring Not Shirley Temple, no. It's Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, sure.
And it was amazing. I loved it. It's about how she keeps on marrying people, but every time she marries a person, they die in unexpected ways.
Okay.
But she keeps on getting richer. It's not like an evil film. It's just like she wants to live a normal life, but every time she marries a normal guy, they become like millionaires and go crazy and accidentally die in weird ways.
Fantastic.
Like, Dick Van Dyke died of stress. Paul Newman died because the machines he created to paint, went after him.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it was really funny. I watched.
Is there like a hint that maybe she's doing these
No,
things?
no, no. It's not like a murder.
Supernatural.
No, it's just like a coincidence, you know.
Okay.
She's like, every time she marries a person, she drives men so crazy of success that they just die.
Okay, it's almost a curse then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But it's funny.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I watched another Humphrey Bogart movie, In a Lonely Place.
Yeah, I've heard of
Very
that.
good.
I've heard of that.
Very good.
I'll have to add that to the list.
Being There, a movie by, let's see, who stars in that? I always forget. By Peter Sellers. It's okay.
Nice.
It's good. I want to say it's okay. It's actually really good, but I don't laugh out loud. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's about a guy he's a gardener, but he never gone outside his whole time he's been alive. So he doesn't know anything about the real world except for what he sees on TV.
Okay.
And when his boss dies, he has to move out and explore the world as a man who just watched TV growing up. And people think he's like some kind of savant. Like the rich people think he's some kind of savant. And he gets involved with the President of the United States and everything like that. Yeah.
He was a gardener?
Yeah, he's just a gardener.
But never went outside.
Never went outside, very simple-minded, and just watched TV all day.
He sounds like the Laura Palmer's shut-in friend in Twin Peaks in season 2.
Yeah. I watched Sweet Charity, starring Shirley MacLaine.
Nice.
Directed by Bob Fosse. It is awesome.
Oh, good.
Bob Fosse is a great director. Unfortunately, a man who is very depressed.
What's his Wikipedia photo look like, though?
I don't know. It probably looks good. I don't think he's blinking in it.
Let's see. Well, no. He's not blinking in it.
No. He's wearing a hat, though.
Profile.
The profile pic, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the fedora on.
Yeah. Of course, Bob Fosse, famous choreographer and movie director. You know, directed all that jazz, cabaret.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I watched, the last one was a Jerry Lee Lewis movie. Oh, not Jerry Lee Lewis, sorry, Jerry Lewis movie. Artists and Models, the Dean Martin vehicle, and the Jerry Lewis when they were so talented.
Sure.
I keep saying Jerry Lee Lewis, but it's just Jerry Lewis.
It's definitely not Jerry Lee
No,
Lewis.
it's just Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin when they were a comedy team together.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm Shirley MacLaine also.
Isn't that what the Family Guy episodes with Brian and Stewie were based on?
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was the Bob Hope movies.
Bob Hope. Maybe it was Bob Hope.
Bob Hope and,
maybe it was Bob Hope.
who the fuck was the guy? Bob Hope and, Frank Sinatra?
Oh, maybe it was, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. No, Bob Hope and, I don't know, somebody else.
All I know is those movies are for old people, and old people are fucking lame.
Yeah. Okay, yep. And
now let's talk about this movie from the 1950s.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, that's mostly all I've been doing, all I've been watching and stuff like that. What about you, TJ?
Let's see. Since the last time, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I finished Twin Peaks: The Return and watched Fire Walk with Me.
That's good. Did you like the scene where the girl who plays Lara Flynn Boyle's character gets fucked in a bar?
No, it's a very uncomfortable scene. Actually, it's a very uncomfortable scene.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked that movie. I can see
good.
why people didn't, especially at the time when they just wanted to know what the fuck happened after the season 2 cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the movie's really dark. I mean, it's really fucked up and dark. But goddamn, is it bold? And I actually read that there have been, survivors of rape and incest that have actually found some kind of catharsis in that movie.
Uh-huh.
And if that's the case, then that's great.
That's cool.
I don't know. It's just David Lynch.
Being David Lynch?
Very much being David Lynch. But you know what? I think he's won me back.
Yeah.
He's won me back. I think I thought I was so disappointed by how vanilla, not vanilla, but Wild at Heart was just not a movie that vibed with me or resonated with me for whatever reason, but he's got me back.
Cool.
And The Elephant Man was just so, it might as well not been a David Lynch movie.
That's
it was
true.
fine, but it wasn't a David Lynch movie.
Yeah. There's another movie on Criterion you may want to watch. It's called A Straight Story, or The Straight Story, directed by David Lynch in 1999.
I've heard of that.
I would say it's his most, I don't want to say normal film, but very straightforward film.
Mainstream
film, yeah. It's actually really good, I heard. But it's just like I don't think it has any of the David Lynch stuff we expect or anything like that. It's a very straight. It's actually a straight story. It's about a guy who just rides a tractor throughout the country, I believe. Yeah.
Is it Kyle MacLachlan?
No, it's not.
Damn.
No.
I could watch David Lynch and Kyle MacLachlan collaborate to the end of time.
Yeah.
I really could.
True. Yeah.
But I watched those. I watched Agira, The Wrath of God.
Oh.
That's a trip. That's a movie that I think is very much worth watching, and it's one that, even though, while you're watching it, you're like impressed by it, my affection, or not my, I guess affections for it grew in the days afterward. It was one of those movies where my adoration, that's the word I'm
big Klaus Kinski fan, I think.
Well, I mean, I have to acknowledge his acting chops. He's very talented.
Yes.
And Werner Herzog does a great job directing it, and the fact that they filmed on site is really, really just adds this level of authenticity. Mm-hmm. A lot of like historical movies are of the epic vein, right?
Yeah.
And they're shot in a way that makes them look epic. This is not that kind of movie.
Yeah.
This definitely paints this real life guy who, as a fucking psycho, who gets himself and his followers killed, which is acted perfectly, go figure, by Klaus Kinski, a noted fucking psychopath.
Yeah, who almost killed when I was during the film.
Horrible guy. Abused his kids. Yeah, no, I mean, he's just a terrible guy. But great movie, admittedly. If you can find it for free, give it a watch.
That's cool.
And then otherwise, for no discernible reason whatsoever, I began rewatching the Star Trek movies.
Cool.
I gotta say, the motion picture, I don't know if you're at all familiar with its reputation.
I heard it's really slow.
It is very slow.
Yes.
And I traditionally have
not
cared
that's
for
like the thing of old 1970 sci-fi.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Well, aside from Star Wars. See, I think Star Wars picked up the pace, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Sci-fi movies from that time were very slow plotting, and this movie definitely takes more inspiration from 2001 than Star Wars or anything else. But going into it this time, I said, I know I've seen this movie a half dozen times at least. It usually disappoints me. How would I feel? And it's probably been 5 years since I watched it.
Yeah.
How would I feel if I'm in 1979? Star Trek's been off the air, and I'm one of these Trekkers that you don't have the streaming capabilities that you do now.
Yeah.
And I went into that with the kind of different appreciation for. I came out of it with a different appreciation when doing that. It's actually a beautifully shot movie, and I've always liked the story. I've always really liked the story. It's
Is
just
that the one where the guy from Seventh Heaven, his girlfriend becomes like possessed by an alien?
Well, yeah, she's kind of indoctrinated by a machine and serves as this mouthpiece. Yeah. God, another scumbag.
Yeah.
Stephen Gilmore, is that his name?
I have no idea.
Something like that.
I don't care.
He's great in that movie, but he's a fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I grew a better appreciation for that. Wrath of Khan is still Wrath of Khan. It's a great movie, a lot of fun, and I'm up to Search for Spock.
Okay, is that one okay? Because I know it goes like odd ones are kind of bad, even ones are good.
Correct. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, so
it's fine. It's just sandwiched between the two best.
4 is the one when they go to like downtown San Francisco.
San Francisco in the 80s, baby.
Yeah, that's good. 5
is horrible.
6 is okay, right?
6, I like 6 a lot. A lot of people think it's okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It's a cool murder mystery.
Then after 6, then that's the Next Generations one, right?
Correct. And the trend still kind of holds. Generations, which is the one that has Kirk and Picard briefly together. I think it's okay. A lot of people don't like it. The one with the Borg is much higher regarded.
Yeah.
I do like it. I wish they didn't bring in the Borg Queen.
What was
Part
the
of me
worst
wishes they
one?
didn't.
There was one that was like really bad.
Of the Next Gen movies?
Yeah.
I would. That depends who you ask.
Yeah.
I don't think Insurrection is terrible, but it's the oldest opinion about these movies that one seems the most like just a normal ass episode of Star Trek. And it's true. It does feel like that, whereas the others are more cinematic. I would say people would either say that, Generations, or Nemesis with Tom Hardy.
Okay.
I don't dislike Nemesis. I really don't. But all in all, I think the original cast movies are more my cup of tea.
How do you feel about the newest Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams one? Do you think they're good?
I actually do like them.
Okay.
I get why traditional Star Trek fans don't. Because they made Star Trek for a mainstream audience, and mainstream audience conventions are all abound in them.
Are you okay with the song Sabotage playing while Cook drives?
It doesn't bother me as much as a lot of people. Anything that brought popularity to that franchise, especially at that time when Star Trek was not a cool thing to like, I was fine with. And you know what? The fact that I think it was brilliant that instead of just doing it's a restart of the story, which it kind of is, but the twist is that, it's a new universe. It's a parallel universe. Time has been changed. Kirk's dad is dead. He never grew up knowing his dad. Mm-hmm. You've already got it given a blank canvas, so I can't even hate on it that much. Okay. I can't say, they didn't honor the old series. Well, the old series doesn't mean butt kiss now.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't hate on the Abrams movies. They're fine.
That's cool.
It's kind of weird seeing Benedict Cumberbatch play the same guy that Ricardo Montalban does, but you had to keep that a twist, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else? Is that it?
No, I think I've waxed a little bit long on banter time.
Okay, it's now time for the end of banter time.
And the banter time. And the banter time.
That was so good. I'm keeping that in.
Please do.
I'm doing it. Okay, so that's the end of banter time. Now let's get to our movie. TJ, what did we watch?
We watched, for this episode, 1954's The Caine Mutiny.
Ah, yes, The Caine Mutiny. Directed by Edward Demtrek. The Devil Commands and Mutiny. Just Mutiny. That's it. Not The Caine Mutiny. Just Mutiny.
Is this a sequel we didn't know about?
No, I don't think so. So yeah. Written by Stanley Roberts and Michael Blankfort. Not much about them, so that's why I don't have movies for them.
Wasn't Stanley Roberts the man? Oh, no. I'm thinking of the producer. Now I see.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. Starring Humphrey Bogart of Casablanca fame and Crime School. Jose Ferrer, Cyrano de Bergerac, and Dracula's dog. Van Johnson, The Human Comedy, and Divorce, American Style. Da 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 da.
Sounds awesome.
That's my guess. That was the theme song. Fred McMurray, The Apartment, and The Shaggy Dog.
What if American Divorce was like a Kramer versus Kramer movie? It would be completely opposite of how you just portrayed it.
That's true. But it stars Dick Van Dyke, so I think it's a comedy.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah. You ever see that one clip of The Shaggy Dog? I don't know if that's from the sequel or not, where it's like you can definitely tell it's a guy in a suit and he like goes down a pole.
No. In a dog costume?
Yeah, in a dog costume.
No, I've not seen it.
It is fantastic.
Fred McMurray truly... Was he the dog?
I think he was the dog, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. He really was a gem.
Mm-hmm. Robert Francis, They Rode West, and The Bamboo Prison, and Mae Wynn, The White Squaw, and The Violent Men.
Who did Mae Wynn play in this movie?
Mae Wynn was the girlfriend.
I know, but do you know the girlfriend's name?
No.
Her name was Mae Wynn.
How
many people? Yeah, they didn't even bother.
They didn't even bother to change their names. It's Mae Wynn.
Mae Wynn as Mae Wynn, or maybe she changed her name.
Yeah.
To match the character's name, because this is based on a book.
That's true. That's true.
You never know.
Okay, TJ, we know what the Caine Mutiny is, but what's it about?
Well, I was going to mention too. It's produced by Stanley Kramer. You know who Stanley Kramer is?
No, I do not know who Stanley Kramer is.
To be honest, I really only know him because he's the guy that made It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. But it looks like he also did High Noon.
Ooh.
Ship of Fools.
Ooh.
And director Steven Spielberg described him as an incredibly talented visionary.
Oh, cool.
And one of the four great filmmakers.
Ever seen It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World?
I love that movie, yes.
That movie's like 4 hours long.
Oh, yeah, it's an epic.
I'm going to watch it with my father and my sister. And they're like, there's an intermission? Like, yeah.
It's a long movie.
And it's like stars every great comedian actor ever.
And it's a rare comedy, I guess, where like I don't find myself laughing out loud often, but I'm so invested in the chase and just the story.
Yeah,
I really like that movie actually.
That's cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
Let's get back to this one.
Yeah.
So you asked me what the Caine Mutiny is about.
What is the Caine Mutiny about?
Well. In the midst of World War II, the affluent Princeton-educated ensign Willie Keith is assigned to the USS Caine, a minesweeper ship consisting of a self-professed group of misfits and helmed by the equally offbeat but beloved Lieutenant Commander DeVries, of whom Keith openly disapproves. Despite efforts by DeVries to accept Keith onto his floating circus, the Ivy Leaguer continues to show contempt for his superior's loose approach to protocol. Soon after Keith's assignment to the Caine, however, DeVries is relieved of duty under dubious circumstances by Lieutenant Commander Queeg, who, like Keith, operates staunchly by the book. The following days show a 180-degree shift in the Caine's morale, as the crew who had loved DeVries grow resentful of Queeg, whose words and actions don't fully align, and whose hang-ups regarding minor infractions and verbal abuse of the crew members earns him only more ire. Even Keith, Queeg's hand-picked morale officer, begins to lose faith in the captain, whose increasingly unhinged behaviors hint at underlying incompetence, cowardice, and insecurity. When Lieutenant Tom Kiefer, an author aboard the ship, suggests to his fellow officers, specifically Lieutenant Steve Merrick, an aspiring career military man and the captain's unofficial right-hand man, that he should invoke Article 184 of Navy Regulations, which allows an officer to relieve a superior of duty should they prove themselves mentally incapable of handling their job. While Merrick rejects the idea initially, he does begin to document instances of the captain's paranoia and delusion going forward. Tensions ultimately boil over, however, when the Caine is caught in a powerful typhoon, and Queeg rejects his officer's suggestions for escaping it while eventually freezing up entirely. Merrick, backed by Keith, invokes Article 184 and successfully leads the Caine through the storm safely. This mutiny is met with a court-martial for Merrick, at which he is defended by attorney Lieutenant Barney Greenwald. During the trial, which is a literal life-and-death situation for Merrick, Keith supports the necessity of relieving Queeg of duty, while Kiefer completely turns on his fellow officers by denying any involvement in the situation and claiming ignorance regarding the captain's fragile mental state. Despite this, Greenwald is able to make Queeg crack while on the stand, and Merrick is acquitted of all charges. At a post-trial celebration between the Caine's officers, including a sheepish Kiefer, Greenwald drunkenly barges in and offers a half-hearted congratulations to the men before berating them for not considering Queeg's many years of previous combat as a potential factor for his mental state, and for not providing him better support and communication when he did request it. Further, in a special condemnation of Kiefer's cowardice, he throws a glass of champagne into the turncoat's face before branding him as the author of the mutiny, the one crew member who worked behind the scenes to pull the strings of the entire situation, in a theorized attempt to gain material for a book he was writing. With that exclamation, Greenwald leaves the room and is followed by the officers, leaving Kiefer, soaked in champagne, entirely alone. In the end, no hilarity ensues.
No.
This was not a funny film.
No.
No, I would not say it's a funny film. No. I would say it's a dramatic film.
Yes.
A dramatic film that doesn't take itself too seriously at all, and that actually carries some pretty lofty and ambitious themes about loyalty and communication on the job, especially during wartime.
Definitely. Okay, I think this is one of the films where we can actually talk about the whole film, like parts by parts.
Sure.
Right? Okay, so we introduced to our main character, played by Robert Francis, who unfortunately died just like a year after this movie came out, by a plane crash incident, I believe. Terrible. So he has just graduated, where would he graduate? Like
Ensign school. I don't know. No, he was he was a Princeton guy.
He was a Princeton guy. He went to, what's that? West Point. Did he go to West Point? Is that it?
It could have been West Point.
I don't know, West Point.
And he's told by was it his dad or something? I don't know.
His uncle.
His uncle. That's right. He's like, when he finds out that he's been assigned to the Caine, which apparently is known all around, even outside of military circles, to be kind of a laughingstock ship.
Yeah.
His uncle tells him, "Oh, we'll find a way to get you off that ship."
Yeah.
His very Anglo uncle says that.
Yeah. Kind of like not like a prick, the main character, Robert Francis' character. He's just like a Nancy boy. He's just lame. He's just a lame duck.
Well, I think it's supposed to be he's kind of a sheltered mama's boy, right?
Yeah,
I didn't even talk about his relationship with his mom, but I think he's kind of a sheltered mama's boy who grew up in an influential family. So he looks his nose down initially on Captain DeVries and the officers of the Caine.
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
Yeah. I do have one note from the graduation ceremony when the guy who's speaking, it says, good luck and good luck hunting. I'm like, hunting? What? What does that mean? I just found that weird.
It's probably, they referred openly to human beings, Japanese people by the terms Jap or whatever, and, it's probably, my point is that they dehumanized their enemy, and I think that's what he was getting at.
That could be that, yeah, definitely. He called his mom sweetheart. That was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was an interesting bit of dialogue there. Have you ever called your mom sweetheart?
No.
Toots.
I watched the movie with I don't know, for some reason it was on YouTube. It was an NBC TV movie about prom night or something. It saw like Alyssa Milano, Christina Applegate, Matthew Perry, all before they became famous. And Fraser's in it.
Kelsey Grammer?
Kelsey Grammer's in it, playing the character of a dad. And he calls his wife mother. I'm like, why?
That's weird shit.
I know it's like an old school term to use, but I'm like, no, they don't do that.
Isn't that what Mike Pence calls his wife mother?
Mother, yeah, it's just weird.
It's bizarre.
It's just weird.
Mother.
Exactly like that too. Like Gun Danzig. Oh, imagine Fraser Crane just saying mother.
Actually, yeah, that would sound
cool.
Similar to Danzig in a way.
Yeah. So he graduated. We meet his girlfriend, which. Okay, let's bring up May now. I don't understand why this romantic subplot was even brought in. Like, it was probably in the book, but it's not needed.
It doesn't even aid his character, like, or his arc. His arc of
He kind of becomes like the secondary character, like, throughout the movie.
Yes.
After a while.
Yeah.
Because, like, we follow him, and we're like, oh, cause we're like a fish out of water. We're trying to navigate the world of the Caine and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But after a while, he becomes like the side character, and then we get Humphrey Bogart's character, Van Johnson, and
Fred McMurray.
And Fred McMurray become like the main characters.
Yeah, I mean, he still is a constant presence up until the end because he's obviously at the trial at the end, backing Merrick up, Van Johnson's character. But yes, you're right. Like, you know, you hear it in my synopsis too. It starts like you're going to think, oh, this guy's the main character. And then it dawns on you, wait, I saw the poster for this movie that showed very clearly Humphrey Bogart, Jose Ferrer, who they must have just been the more, Van Johnson and Fred McMurray. Those are obviously the more established actors.
Definitely.
In my world, it's almost like in Caddyshack, how really the main character is the nobody, Danny, the caddy, but he's overshadowed by these stars.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's a reason for this, and I think that it's to show the effect that the Caine has on people and how it actually helps outsiders kind of identify that, they're like a familial unit.
Yeah.
And, at the start of it, he's totally rejecting that.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, he's kind of got this fraternity. Right, with his fellow officers and the ship. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of in service to show how an outsider can be not indoctrinated. I mean, I guess indoctrinated technically. This isn't a cult, but you see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
How he's kind of brought into the fold and becomes one of them.
Definitely, I can definitely see that.
But you're right; it's a good observation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we see him. He is a white bread, just like Princeton guy, and every time. So when he first goes into the Caine Mutiny. The Caine, I should say, not the Caine Mutiny.
That'd be great if it was called the Caine Mutiny.
Yeah, the ship was called the Caine Mutiny.
The USS Caine Mutiny.
Yes. Why is it called that, Captain? Don't ask.
And then the movie would be the Caine Mutiny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Too many mutinies to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they leave the school. He gets in a fight with May because they wants to get married, I guess, or something, or he's ashamed of her.
Yeah. She wants to get married for sure. He's like, oh, but my mom would disapprove of you.
Yeah.
And he's kind of being a little bitch about that. So they keep their relationship on ice for that time.
Yeah.
But when he gets to the see, again, I don't even think about the May character.
Yeah.
I don't mind his, I'll just get this out of the way. I thought she was useless.
Yeah.
His mom, I guess, I don't mind his mom being there so much to show him as this mama's boy.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of spoiled and sheltered his whole life.
Yeah.
Because when he meets Captain DeVries, and Captain DeVries is not at all what he expected a military man to be.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a great contrast to everything he had expected. So yeah, May, I'll just get that out of the way. The actress does a good job, but more or less unnecessary. The first time we see them, they're like, okay, we'll put our relationship on ice. The second time he comes back for shore leave, they break up because he's not willing to commit. And by the end of it, he says, oh, hell, Mom, meet May. And then they get married. That's all. That's it. That's all they do.
That's it. Yeah, it's kind of... I think she was just there to sing the song. I mean, mostly. I mean, back then, it was just like, we need a song to sell people. And they're like, okay, we need somebody to sing it. And it was just May. That's it.
Yeah.
She's just going to sing the song. And then she could be...
I
don't even know if she's in the actual book. I don't even know if she's an actual character in the book.
Given that the character and the actress have the same exact name, I'm willing to bet that she was not in the book. I think you're probably dead on about this. I think you're dead on about this.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, okay, so then we get onto the ship. We meet our cast of characters. We meet Fred McMurray, who's more the sarcastic type. He's not really a soldier, he's a writer. Then we meet Van Johnson, who's the second in command. Very serious about his job. Doesn't want to be not looked down upon, but joked about. Like,
well, yeah,
he doesn't want to be like when they said like this. He's the main man in charge. Like, he's like, don't say that.
And he's not there because it's his. At that time, I guess people thought it was their duty to go fight for their country, which is great in the face of the Nazis.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. But Merrick wanted to stick around after that. He wanted to be a career Navy guy.
Career guy.
So yes, very serious.
Yeah, and then we meet the captain, who I loved. I loved the first captain.
DeVries. Yes.
He was the man.
Yeah, he was great.
He was the man. He saw through like the Princeton shit, and he was just like, okay, this guy's gonna be like all tight ass all of a sudden because he wants to be a lot of rules, but he's gonna learn things the way I do them, and then he kind of does see the way after a while and see like how great of a captain he is, because you can lead men in multiple ways. You can lead the military way, which has probably worked for many captains or generals in the military, or you can lead like his way, where it's more of a family attitude, but you get the job done, and you can still be a great military man.
Yeah, and I love the scene where he, Keith comes into his room, the general's or the captain's room rather, and the captain's sitting down. He doesn't even stand up to shake Keith's hand, and he's got his shirt off, and he's just got some kind of like gauze or some bandages around his stomach. Like, it's so informal, and you can just see it on Keith's face that this is not exactly how I imagine meeting the captain.
This is the Caine. Like, this is what you expected. Yeah,
right. And he's so openly disrespectful of it. Like, we've seen enough military movies since. I get maybe it's just later wars because the army maybe in World War II was a little more lax. I don't know. But I would imagine if you openly disrespected your commanding officer, they could make your life a living hell. And a lot of them, like a Queeg perhaps would.
Yeah.
Right? But whereas Queeg is just a hard ass and insecure, DeVries seems to just want to get the best out of his people, and he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
He's a little offbeat. He makes the new guys climb the mast at the start. And
I forgot about the character, about the guy, his other ensign.
Yeah, he leave the ship?
He leaves the ship.
Yeah.
He leaves it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had that much of an impact either. He kind of left the ship. Was he brought up during the trial at all? Or was he just like, he left?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I think he left and that was kind of the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the guy that ended up being Captain Queeg's steward or whatever, right?
No, that was
a different
Johnson.
guy? Okay.
So,
No, not Van Johnson, but the guy that says, I know what happened to the strawberries.
Oh, no, that was him. That was him.
Okay,
that was
him.
He was his main goal in the whole movie was to tell people what happened to the strawberries.
It's an important part, though. It is an important part, and we'll get there.
Yeah. So we meet the crew, everything, he's getting used to life on the sea, life on the Caine. He realizes that's not what it is, but,
he still actively wants to get rid of him.
Actually wants to get rid of his captain, but I think when the captain finally leaves, because he's like, I want to get out of here. I've been here for 2 years, and he finally gets his deployment. He finally gets like, I can leave now. And so now we meet Queeg, played by Humphrey Bogart.
Hold on, wasn't DeVries removed though? I thought he was relieved.
He was relieved, yes.
Yes, but maybe I'm misreading it. I thought that it was kind of ambiguous that maybe because, remember, Keith was given the opportunity to leave.
Yes.
His affluent uncle got him, a chance to be restationed somewhere else. And when he was put on blast in front of everyone, all of his other officers by DeVries, he says, no, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Kind of gets shamed into staying.
Yeah.
And then I wondered if maybe because of that, the uncle pulled some strings and got DeVries relieved. That was my guess.
I think we could assume that, yeah.
Well, I think it's just
but
one of those
he has been trying to get off the ship for like 2 years. So
was he? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. So maybe they finally gave him his let go and...
Okay.
Or maybe they saw maybe people saw it, maybe, Robert Francis' character did tell somebody like, hey, there's not a really organized ship, and it's just like, we need somebody new in charge. It could be a multiple to the things, but anyway, but...
You know what I'm just realizing?
What?
I should have, for my opening line,
Yeah.
I should have said, and I'm TJ, and has anyone seen my gold watch lying around? That would have been good. I love the scene when they give him, as a parting gift, they give him that
the gold watch. And
he says,
like,
I can't accept gifts. That's against protocol. And he sets it down.
Yeah.
Takes a few steps. And, hey, who left this here? He just picks it up and puts it on. Well, I can't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
Loved that scene.
Yeah.
Love DeVries.
Yeah, love DeVries. That shows that he's one of the men, you know. Yeah. Like he's in charge, the men respect him, they're willing to die for him. Like, it may seem like a ratty operation, but like I feel like once a real like something really happens, the men will be on it like crazy, you know. Yeah. They'll be on their game, you know.
Yeah, because they'll want to watch the next guy's back, not because they're told to or programmed to military training, but because that they look at that person as a brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. That is the kind of culture that you gather with DeVries. But he is relieved of duty, like you said, in place of Commander Queeg.
Now, this is a weird situation for Humphrey Bogart. Well, not in general, but like way I see him. I've never seen much Humphrey Bogart movies. I've seen Casablanca. I've seen A Lonely Place, of course. Only a few, probably 2 or 3. So I always see him as like a very stoic type. He's always supposed to be the hero and stuff like that. This is a very different type I see him. He's very nervous. He's insecure. He always questions everything. He's very paranoid. Very different acting type I've seen from against type for Humphrey Bogart type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's covering up in what's the word I'm looking for? He's not perfect, right? He's covering up for his imperfections.
Yeah, his incompetence, you know, like stuff like that. Yeah, so it's really interesting because we think because we're wondering like what's going to happen. So it's just like he gets in charge finally. Robert Francis' character has like the guy he wants, but you know he starts ordering people around, and then the very first drill we see a mistake.
Yes.
A mistake that probably the last captain would have not made. He
cut the tow cable.
They cut the tow cable, which I have no idea what that means, but they did it.
Well, I think that it was like not a war game, but like a training exercise where they had to go out to sea and get this item and tow it back to some destination.
Yeah.
And while they pick up the item and while they're doing the turnaround, Queeg gets so mad about a crewman whose shirt is untucked.
Yeah.
Crewman named hold on here, he's named Horrible. Played by Claude Akins, who I know has been in a million things. I know him as Aldo from Battle of the Planet of the Apes.
Cool.
Terrible movie. But as he's berating Horrible for his untucked shirt, he doesn't even tell the helmsman to stop turning the wheel.
Yeah.
Mind you, the helmsman knows that he should stop turning the wheel, but because he's been trying to get the captain's attention and getting yelled at for it, he said, I'm not fucking with it anymore.
Yeah.
He'll tell me when to stop turning the wheel. So they cut the tow line, therefore not being able to drag that target back.
Okay.
And instead of saying, oh, my bad, Captain Queeg instead deflects. He says, they gave us some shoddy towing cable.
Yeah.
When I get back to land, I'm going to wring their necks for giving me such awful equipment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you think like he could stop him, the guy who was doing the ship, who was controlling the ship, he could have just stopped, but you're in the military. You're on captain's order. If you don't do what he says, you'll get in trouble.
Correct.
You could get court-martialed, other things like that. So,
correct.
Yeah, so that's why he kept on going. So that's the other implication of that.
Yep.
And so then it keeps on going. Each little incident gets worse and worse. Let's see what else happens besides the strawberries. It was
oh gosh, it was that. It was when they are assigned to lead the soldiers who are on individual boats. They have to lead them to the shore of Japan. To attack.
Yeah.
And so they're tasked with leading the soldiers to the coast and leaving like a signal 1,000 yards, 1,000 feet or something out in the water. And Queeg decides to drop that signal. I can't remember the exact yard.
Yeah, like 5,000 probably.
It was like 5,000. Yeah. He leaves it way earlier than he should.
Yeah.
And he turns around and leaves the coast ASAP.
Yeah, so, kind of in cowardice because he was afraid of war because of all of his experience.
Correct. So he's shown signs of cowardice and incompetence so far.
Yeah.
And then the big one.
Known as one letterbox reviewer as Strawberry Gate.
Strawberry Gate.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody has eaten all the frozen strawberries that was given as a gift to the company. It was only for the officers. They ate like a lot of it, and you can tell because for some reason, I don't know why he's so obsessed with this, Quell's character. He just is. He's obsessed with it. He thinks that everybody's against him, so they think like somebody must have eaten all the strawberries behind my back. Somebody must have a master key to be able to access like secret panels or something to get these strawberries. Yep. He comes in with a bucket filled with sand, and he then makes everybody's he makes one guy scoop every single time somebody says how many portions of strawberries did you eat.
Right.
And it's almost empty, and there's only a little bit left, even a quarter left.
Yeah.
And he's like, see, somebody must have come in and ate all the strawberries.
Yes.
And so that becomes a manhunt just to find this so-called key to find out who ate the strawberries.
Yeah, all these officers are awoken in 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning, yeah.
Because he wanted a midnight snack and found that the strawberries were gone. And to him, that's not just a minor, to Captain DeVries, that's just like, oh, damn it, I wanted those. But whatever, someone else had them. To Queeg, that is a complete just undermining of authority.
Yeah.
And it's something that attacks him personally.
Yeah, because, he said, back then, I found somebody who did make a key one time to steal provisions or something like that. So he thinks, oh, it's happening again. So once again, they're literally searching the whole ship.
Stripping men down.
They had to write a report on it.
Yeah.
And they said, we could not find out who took the strawberries.
And they all sign it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
The most ridiculous part of the whole thing. And then we finally find out the second ensign who left the ship says, he tells everybody, there's no key. I asked the cabin boys, if they ate it, and they said, yeah, we ate it. We just didn't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
And he covered for him.
And they covered for him. And then they tell the captain this, there's no key. But he doesn't believe them.
Well, no, he believes them.
He believes them, yeah.
But he wants to still go through with his plan. No, the captain knew that the deck hands or whatever had eaten the strawberries. But
I forgot. He did tell him.
Yes, at that point, though, he couldn't go back because he would look like a fool.
Yeah.
That's how his mind was working.
He looks selfish, foolish, incompetent, and cowardice.
Insecure, too.
And insecure.
Yes.
5 signs that maybe something's wrong with him.
And he's constantly, I will give Queeg this, he's got balls of steel.
Yeah.
Balls of steel, and he plays with them.
Oh, yeah, he does have balls of steel.
Yes, literally. No, he's a coward. He's a bitch.
Yeah.
But he plays with these balls, these steel balls in his, pinballs.
To deal with his nervousness.
Yep. Yeah, it's like his nervous tick. And actually, the first time he did it, I thought, that's kind of a badass little quirk.
Yeah.
And then the more you watch it, it's completely retextualized by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, no, this is his security blanket.
Yeah.
It's a really brilliant touch.
True.
I don't know if that's in the book, but that's a brilliant little touch.
Yeah. So now all these things have happened. Fred McMurray's character is really just goading everybody. Just this guy is paranoid. He's insane. We gotta get him off this ship. But everybody's like, no, we can't do that. Because it's a mutiny. It's mutiny against officers. Yes. It's insane.
Yes. And he references a specific rule in the Navy regulations, Article 184, which does, I don't know if it's real or not, but it allows, in this movie, it allows for an officer to relieve the captain of his duty should the captain be mentally incapable of performing it.
Yeah.
So at first, Merrick, who would be presumably the one to do that, says, I'm not going to bother with, I'm not going to do that to the captain because he is very loyal and he is a proud military man and he wants to be by the book. But he does start taking note of, on this date the captain did this, that was really odd. On this date the captain did that was really odd. But yes, like you said, his name is Tom Kiefer. That's Fred McMurray's character.
Tom Kiefer.
He's stirring the drink here. He's the straw that stirs the drink.
2 characters where Fred McMurray plays a piece of shit. He plays one in the apartment and plays one in this one.
Yes, but we don't know he's a piece of shit yet.
Yes, we think he's cool. We think this guy's right. This guy, Humphrey Bogart does suck. Yeah, he should get kicked out. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. We're like, oh, and then multiple moments we see him pussyfoot out, just
that should have been the first sign, and I still didn't pick up on it or get any or assume anything that would happen.
So make all these notes. Now, Robert Francis' character is against it because he's seen what a military man is, and he knows this is not right for our crew. So he's like, okay, we got to go to the man above him and try to either get him thrown off the ship or move somewhere else.
Admiral Halsey.
So they go there. They go to the base to try to call him, but all of a sudden, Fred McMurray's character is like, oh, no, wait, they're not going to believe us. You see this place?
Well, they're outside. Yeah, look how well run this place is.
Yeah, look how well run this is. They're going to think, oh, he's just another military man. They're not going to believe us.
And to be fair, that is another thing that amps up the stakes in this, is that they are facing treason.
True.
Treason charges. What we're seeing, if we're seeing the accurate portrayal of these characters, right?
Yeah.
We know that, hey, this captain is losing his marbles.
That's what the story is believing us to
correct.
He's losing his marbles. It's not meant for this.
Correct.
How is he in the military? It's insane. you know.
But then we get the reminder of how the justice system works. The legal system doesn't have video evidence, right?
Yeah.
The legal system has to go off of what is known as fact and has to try and parse through personal bias and bullshit.
True, yeah.
And again, that's another ingenious part of this movie. There's so many strokes of genius in this movie.
True, because when Fred McMurray says that, like, we kind of believe him. We're like, wait a minute, yeah, he's kind of right. Like, would they just believe him? And
the admiral's just going to take their word over this guy who's probably served with him?
Yeah, he's been in the military service for 8 years, you know.
You have to think of the optics of that going.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
risking a death
we
penalty.
think that we don't see the future ahead of us. We see as Fred McMurray characters coming, but yeah. So then the best scene in the movie happens, which is the typhoon scene. This scene is a masterstroke in acting by Humphrey Bogart and in directing. With everything's going chaos, the red lights coming in and out of the scene. You can tell, like, panicking, not panicking, panicking, not panicking. It's just amazing. Where it's just like, you see, like, Captain, what are we gonna do? And he's just frozen still. He's like, and then he didn't say I don't know, of course, but you just don't know. And then, like, it just finally happens, and that goes like, no, it can't be. And it's like, yeah.
Yes.
That's the very poor way I described it, but that's the typhoon scene is amazing.
No, Captain Queeg locks up and is not able, he's without speech. He's unable to speak until it dawns on him that my power is being challenged. That's what snaps him back.
That's what snaps him
and that's all he cares about. They are in a fucking typhoon, and he is more worried about
the ship is literally being destroyed.
Yeah.
Like one of the chimneys literally just comes off, and then he's like, "It's fine, we're fine. Turn left, we got
chimney."
this."
It's called a mast.
Mast, whatever.
I just think that's funny.
Yeah, one of the things it just comes off, and it's like, "We're fine. Just keep on going the way I want you to." Everybody feels like, "No, if we go straight or whatever direction they want, we'll be fine." But it's like, "No, follow me." And then he freezes up. And then there was like, yep, we just gotta do it now. And so finally, Fran Johnson's character is like, I'm removing you from duty. We are following orders. Everybody's just like, we don't know what to do because, you know.
Guess who has to be the one that backs him up? It's Keith.
It's Keith. It's not Fred McMurray.
Who really thought he'd like serving for Queeg.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Fred McMurray's smart enough not to actually do anything there.
Yeah, because he wasn't there, right? He was there, and then he wasn't there, and then he entered the scene.
Yeah, he's brought in later in the scene, yes. Yeah. But he's not the one that has to make the official backing.
Yeah.
Because Van Johnson, Merrick shouts out an order, and it has to be Keith that accepts the order and follows it over what Captain Queeg ordered. So yes, that is a brilliant scene.
Yeah.
And really just impressively shot in that it looked like those actors were in a flood, like a typhoon.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
This is like the moment when he just he freezes. You're like, wow.
Oh,
this is the end. Yeah, you can tell. It's amazing that he did not win like best supporting actor for this role, or best. Would he be considered best actor or best supporting actor?
It's a good question because he is top billed.
True.
So I don't know. I have no idea. Probably best actor.
Yeah, he probably should have won. But we'll get into the Oscars later about that stuff. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, when that scene happened, oh man, that's if you don't watch this movie, at least watch the typhoon scene. That movie, that is a great masterclass in acting and mise-en-scene and everything. Just watch it.
It is, but just watch the fucking movie, man. It's just so worth it.
That's good. Then we finally get into the trial part, which I believe William Friedkin, the man who directed The Exorcist and Sorcerer, his last movie was the Caine Mutiny trial. So he basically. Nice. Instead of doing the whole movie, I think he just did the trial.
Nice.
He expanded the trial, made more about it and stuff like that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah, definitely. So then we're introduced to Jose Fierra's character.
Yes.
Who did a master stroke job in acting, yeah.
You know who his son is, right?
Who?
Miguel Ferrer?
No, who's Miguel Ferrer?
He was in RoboCop and Twin Peaks.
Oh, him, yeah.
Yep.
He's a great character actor, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly passed away.
Damn.
In 2017.
Yeah.
But yes, that
anyway, Jose Ferrer did a great job. He can tell right away that Fred McMurray's a piece of shit. He's just like, I know you're doing all this. You're trying to screw him out of this. Because right when they're in the interrogation room, they're like, how am I supposed to get out of this? And I was like, nobody. Because Van Jones was like, how am I supposed to get out of this? Like, nobody wants to take this case. Well, like 9 other people turned you down, but I did it because I believed you're the great American hero.
Yeah.
And so, but he can tell Fred McMurray's a piece of shit right away. It's like, what about? He was like, what about you? And I was like, I wasn't there. Like, am I going to be affected by this at all? And
it is a nice little bit of foreshadowing because, again, still there, I didn't really see the full heel turn.
Yeah.
Because factually, he was not in the room at the moment that Merrick took charge. But yes, that was a nice little bit of foreshadowing there. Because it's also worth noting, too, that during a court-martial, it's not like a traditional trial where the public is all there. So the only people in there are the governing body, right? Yeah. The Navy, the attorneys, the defendant, and the
prosecutor,
right? And whatever witness is on the stand. Mm-hmm. So the only one, now we basically have Queeg versus his officers, right?
Yeah.
Of the officers, the only one that knows that he turned on the only one that knows that Kiefer turned on Steve Merrick is Steve Merrick.
Yeah.
Because again, while he's giving his testimony, Kiefer is, no other officers are present.
True.
So he's the only one, yes.
Yeah,
and the trial is great.
I love the prosecutor. He was waiting. He was just like, yes. Okay, I can clear this guy's name.
What is his name? He was in 12 Angry Men. It's going to bother me. But yes, he did a really good job in
this. Because he was like, I'm going to show, like, this guy did nothing wrong. Like, he was just a man trying to do his job. And you guys decided to just...
E.G. Marshall. Well, that's his job.
That's his job, yeah. And he did a great job doing it. He kept on saying facts and, like, saying, like, are you a doctor? No.
Yeah. It's honestly a shame. It is kind of a shame that the trial is given so little time because really watching both lawyers question the witnesses is great.
Yeah, that's probably why they expanded it to a full movie.
Yeah, it's outstandingly written. It's very well written in that, like, every time E.G. Marshall's the defense attorney asks the question, I'm like, ooh, he's got a point.
You got a point.
And it's again one of those scenarios where we the viewers know that Queeg was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And that he needed to be taken out of power in that moment. But proving that in a court of law to people that were not there, that is the issue. That is the tough part.
Yeah.
So yes, the lawyer interplay was outstanding.
Yeah. So Van Johnson thinks he's done for. Like, I am going to be court-martialed. I will be hung, I believe. I think that's
executed.
He'll be executed. Yeah, he'll be hung. And they think, okay, Fred McMurray has my back. He'll get my back. And then the defense attorney, right? That's E.G. Marshall.
Yeah.
He interrogates Fred McMurray and Fred McMurray.
Or no, I've been saying that wrong. I'm sorry. The defense attorney would be Jose Ferrer.
Okay, so the prosecutor, E.G. Marshall.
You're right. Yep.
Okay, this goes after Fred McMurray, and he just he folds. He lies in front of everybody. He's just like, what?
I was flabbergasted when I found out that they thought that he had mental issues.
Yeah, he just folded, and he turned on Van Johnson like nothing.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he sure did.
Definitely, and then. We go to the next scene where, we go to the next scene where that's when Quigley gets interrogated. And Jose just destroys him on the stand. He's just he keeps on asking him question after question. It's like, what about the strawberries? What about the training exercises? What about when you abandon the soldiers 5,000 yards away from where you're supposed to be and did off that little tan line to give them a signal? And it's just like, he's just like, then I can explain, and he keeps on mumbling and keeps on just trying to think of ways to get out of this, but it's not working. And then he finally, once again, he stops and plays with the metal balls again, and he tries to think of something. And then everybody just goes silent, and then just yep, they got him.
And then when he does start speaking again, he's kind of raving.
He's raving.
He's not doing himself any favors. He's raving, and it's clear to everybody that, hey, this guy, he did lose it.
Yeah.
And it was correct for Merrick to take him out of power.
Yeah.
It is a great, because up until Queeg has to testify, I wasn't so sure that Steve Merrick would get executed. So, it's a really, really great build up to Queeg taking the stand.
Yeah.
And again, it is almost a shame. I thought the movie was very appropriately lengthed.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that the trial couldn't get... My God, cut May's win out and take 10 more minutes of the trial.
Sure.
That'd go a long way. But it's worth noting the first witness is Keith.
Yeah.
Who, again, at the start of the movie would have absolutely had Queeg's back.
Mm-hmm.
But now, and he doesn't, it's important to note that he doesn't bury Queeg. He's just very much rational about how, Merrick did the right thing. I would have made the same decision if I was in his place. Nobody buries Queeg.
Yeah, he froze, and in that moment we needed a leader. He was not our leader at that moment.
Yes.
So we needed somebody else to get...
The only one that disrespects anyone, including themselves, is Fred McMurray's character.
True, yes.
He's the one that does a disservice
He's
to
the one that
himself.
sets this all off. He thinks he's the one that's like, this guy's a loon. Like,
Yes.
we need, like... And then they talk about what is mental illness. I forgot about the therapist when he's brought up. They talk about what is mental illness. Is paranoia mental illness? And he's like, no, it's not mental illness. There's a difference between that and mental illness. And I was like, yeah, that's a great, actually, line. Like, it proves kind of a point to Quayle's side. Because, like, paranoia and mental illness are two very different things. Because your paranoia doesn't mean you're mentally ill or anything like that. It's a debilitating ability.
Yes.
Yeah. A debilitating ability.
Well, yeah. It shows just how much nuance is involved in...
the human mind, yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we're making those kinds of decisions. It's like... And it almost goes the same for, the psychiatrist, rather. The psychiatrist can take in this information and make a judgment. But they weren't there.
They
to
weren't
see
there.
how this all unfolded. And again, if the narration of this movie, so the story, so to speak, is honest... The men were absolutely correct to get power away from Captain Creed.
Yes.
And the right judgment was inevitably come upon by the court.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So that happens, the whole trial happens. We then go to the celebration scene. Obviously, Quayle has lost. He has proven that he was not fit to lead. He, once again, froze and just kept on battling and playing with his steel balls.
He endangered his crew.
He endangered his crew. Yeah. So, they saw that, and it was like, they're celebrating, they're singing,
for He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
He's a Jolly Fellow. To Van Johnson. Fred McMurray comes in. He apologizes to someone. Like,
basically does finger guns.
Yeah, just like, we can all put this behind us. And all of a sudden, Jose Ferrer comes in, drunk as shit. And it's like, hope you guys are fucking happy. Like, you just destroyed a man's career. I had to destroy him. Or she would be hanged right now. And it's like, and then all of a sudden, we go back to, we don't go back, but he calls out a scene in the beginning where it's like, he asked you for help.
It wasn't in the beginning. It was actually toward, I believe it was after the strawberry incident.
After the strawberry incident?
Yes.
Okay, it was after the strawberry incident. I think you're right. Or was it after the... I forget. Was it after...
It was certainly before the typhoon. Well, it was before the mutiny, of course. But no, this is an important thing that Jose Ferrer's character brings up.
Yeah.
Because somehow, as memorable as this movie was to me, I had let my mind forget about that.
Yes, me too. I forgot about that too.
This movie messes with you.
Yeah, because I was so focused on like, Humphrey Bogart character, he's a mess. He can't lead this ship. That's insane. And we see it like constantly because we see all these mistakes, all this foolishness, bumbling, stuff like that, paranoia, all that stuff.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, like he asked you, then Joseph was like, he asked you guys for help. He asked you to help communicate with everybody to get everybody on his side, to find different ways to communicate, to help understand what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But you guys denied him that because you guys just bust him off because of all the incidents.
It comes so out of nowhere too because we're so conditioned even now as modern audiences. Oh, this is the happy ending. This is the celebration.
Yeah.
Hopefully Fred McMurray gets his lumps. But this lawyer did such a great job in identifying that his client was in the right.
Yeah.
He recognized that no one else wants this job because it's hard, but it is worth saving this man's life.
Yeah.
And he does the right thing. And I think that Jose Ferrer's character knows that he did the right thing, but there is a cost to it.
Yeah.
And he basically storms in and he speaks his mind, and it's a sobering reminder that for this man to earn his freedom, another man has to kind of lose his to some degree. And while this man who wanted his freedom was in the right, these men that we have automatically dubbed as heroes just subconsciously, they didn't do everything they could have to meet their captain in the middle.
That's true.
That is what's so damn brilliant about this. Because when Jose Ferrer comes in and he's clearly upset and he's clearly getting passive-aggressive and increasingly more aggressive, I'm thinking, what is this about? Like, you just did a great job, and then he reminds the audience.
Yeah.
He reminds the audience, this guy's a battle-hardened veteran who's not had a break since World War I. Right, he's been on the sea. This is a man who did ask you for help, and it is true. There is a brief scene that I think the audience, at least me, my mind, cognitive dissonance myself, and forgetting about it.
Because we think, because Fred McMurray just passes off what a bullshit
Yeah,
apology.
what a shallow apology.
Shallow apology. And we just brush off because he's Fred McMurray. We think Fred McMurray's a smart dude. He's got this. He's a writer. He thinks outside the box.
Yeah, and he's charming.
He's charming.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
But no, the captain does say, if any of you have any any input.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear from you. And it's probably a combination of us not wanting to see him in power, and also having seen, how he's treated his officers in certain instances, where it's like, no, fuck you. We don't want to. You are extending an olive branch now, but we are afraid that if we reach back out, you'll pull it away.
Yeah.
So there are so many layers on top of this, because Jose Ferrer is correct. They didn't do everything they could have.
Yeah.
Did they do their due diligence? Almost.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe not all of it, but they did almost all of it.
Yeah.
That was such a brilliant turn everything on its head moment. And then when he identifies Kiefer, Fred McMurray, as the author.
Yeah.
It's almost like The Usual Suspects, but on a different scale.
Yeah.
He is the author of this. He was always the voice manipulating this whole thing. If he hadn't opened his mouth, Merrick wouldn't have known about Article 184.
True.
They wouldn't have chickened out when they went to Admiral Halsey to present their findings and their evidence. And he still was able to get everything he wanted, a salacious story to write about, all while keeping his nose clean. It is brilliant.
Perfect, yeah.
It was just brilliantly written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally Jose just throws the drink into Fred McMurray's face and it's like, this is what you deserve. And then everybody just leaves because they're like, yeah, he's right.
I wish the movie had ended there.
Yeah, me too.
But we have to have an epilogue where Keith is married to May Wynn, but more importantly, he is assigned to a new ship.
Yeah, ship.
That is captained by none other than Commander DeVries.
Yeah. I didn't like this ending. I didn't like it.
It's very Hollywood.
It's very Hollywood ending. It's just like, come on. No, you should have ended it right there. Like, maybe them going slower, and then it's just them... And it's just Fred McMurray alone, and he's just sitting there, and then it just fades to black. I didn't like this Hollywood.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised to find out this is just an addition from the producer.
It's like, okay, we can't end it on this sour note. It needs to be like, hey, he has his captain back, and everything's okay. Yeah. And it's like...
Yeah, I chalked that up to just of the times. You weren't really having too many Chinatown endings at the time.
True.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, and then because then also we go back to not Van Johnson, Robert Francis being the main character again. Even though, like, for about 30 or 45 minutes, he hasn't been the main character at all. So it's just like...
Yeah, I love him starting as the main character, or the main focus, or his point of view, rather, because he's the new one on the Caine.
Yeah.
But I also like how it detaches from that viewpoint halfway through the third of the way through the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
And it kind of focuses more on the officers as a whole.
Yeah. The thing is that we don't know what happened to Cuero's character. Humphrey Bogart's character. So we just, like... We know I guess he's been... not court-martialed or something? He hasn't been, like, sentenced to death.
He's probably... I've never been in the military.
Yeah.
I would hope he was just honorably discharged or given a desk job or something.
Yeah, definitely.
I would hope they wouldn't hang the poor guy. He's clearly
I
just needs a break.
Think they to do that.
Yeah, he needs a break.
Yeah.
No, he's a sympathetic character at the end of the day.
Definitely, yeah.
You don't want to sympathize with him through the majority of the movie, but then when he freezes up... See, that's another nice thing, too, is it does a good job of... it's kind of like in wrestling when you protect both sides, right?
Yeah. They
do a good job of protecting him, I think, overall, because, like, the mutiny is not something that's mean-spirited.
No.
At all. There's definitely personal tensions between these sides, but the mutiny is not a disrespectful thing or a fuck you type of thing. It's, okay, this guy is frozen. He's not making a decision. We are going to die. Captain, sorry, love you, Booby, but we got to take over the scene here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another... I think that Queeg is a sympathetic character, ultimately.
Yeah, definitely.
Ultimately.
Yeah. I feel like a good way you could end this movie is you see them, and they see Queeg for like a moment, and they just look at him, and then Queeg just walks away. Maybe says one thing, maybe tries to say no hard feelings or something like that, and they just leave in silence, both of them after that. Yeah, or like maybe because then with Fred McMurray in the celebration hall, just be like, yeah, he just ruined this man's life.
What if he just repeated the exact same line he had at the end of Casablanca about not getting on the plane?
Oh.
And it makes no sense in the context of this movie.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It would have been a little funny.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, but definitely better than the Hollywood ending that we got.
Yeah, I do agree.
Definitely. Okay, well, that's the whole movie. But it was really good. Let's go into our final thoughts now, guys. Okay. I want to talk about Humphrey Bogart's performance a little bit more. I would say I definitely related to him as a character in that in the way. You know, his. I was in the leadership for a very short time, for like something very small, not as big as like as a captain on a ship. And I can feel that pressure. I can tell. Like, if you're in charge of everything, you're in charge of everything. Anything goes wrong, it's your fault. You gotta make sure everybody's in tip-top shape, and you gotta push like a lot of your feelings down. And I definitely understand that. I definitely related to Humphrey Bogart. I had empathy for him at the very end. Of course, during the whole movie, I didn't, but at the very end, I'm like, hey, wait, yeah. This feels like a lot of situations that I've been in, if I've been in charge of something. And I've frozen before, I've had meltdowns, and it's not fun, and I wish that somebody could have helped me a little bit more, and maybe been a little bit more understanding sometimes. But a lot of people were, and I'm really grateful for that. In this situation, he was not. And he paid for it with his career.
He reaped what he sowed, too.
Really so, yeah. So, I definitely have some empathy for Humphrey Bogart's character this week. So this movie, I had no idea what the Caine Mutiny was about. I know it was a Humphrey Bogart movie, and that's about it. And it blew me away. It really did. I mean, sure, we don't really have the best main character in Robert Francis' character. The romance storyline, you could have just got rid of it. It was nonsense. You could have kept the mother in there, because that would explain like where he's from and everything like that. You know, he's a mama's boy, but the romance was, I don't know why they kept on going back to it. They could have just got rid of it at all, you know. That would have been fine. But everything else was amazing. The acting was great. The side characters were amazing. You know, Van Johnson, Frederick Murray gave a great performance as a lovable little shits, but then became just a little shit. Yeah. You know, Van Johnson was great. Humphrey Bogart was amazing in this. It was amazing. He probably should have won Best Actor, but of course we'll get into that later. And also Jose Ferreira. If he wasn't nominated for Best Supporting Actor, I don't know who was. I mean, he was only in the film for like, I don't know, like 15 minutes, but he definitely stole the show. Also great directing. Made me actually feel like I was on the ship. I'll give this 5 stars out of 6.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Well, final thoughts. I didn't know anything about this movie either, aside from that its title had been parodied by The Simpsons. More on that later. Mm-hmm. And that it was probably a movie my grandfather enjoyed. I didn't even realize it was a Humphrey Bogart vehicle, or that it had any of the other cast members. I just knew the name of it. This movie was so good that I didn't even write any notes. And
wow.
We spoke about this movie at length. The only note I wrote down here, aside from the synopsis, was Captain Queeg has balls of steel. That's all I wrote.
Yeah.
I was so engrossed in this movie, and just so like swept up in the story and in the characters, that really it flew by. It exceeded any potential expectation I had for it. I'll keep it short and simple. I'm giving it 5.75 out of 6.
Ooh, wow.
You know why it was docked 0.25?
The romance story?
It was just the romance story.
Yeah.
And Mei Lin was not a bad actress by any means.
No.
It's just, it was unnecessary, and I wish we could have gotten more time for the court scene. Definitely. But even in the little court scene that we had, it did a great job establishing the players, the attorneys, the stakes, and damn did it make you feel tense. This is a great war movie, not a war movie, but a wartime movie.
Yeah.
A great drama, a great human study. And again, it's one that walks a fine line between, you know, I wouldn't say there was too much comic relief, but there is relief in it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, they don't ever, it never goes full comedy with the war context, but you get a sense that DeVries, the captain of the Caine in the beginning, he sees the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
There's no sense in belittling the guys that need to watch your back and the guys that make you look good as a commander, right?
Yeah.
So he runs not necessarily the tightest ship, but a healthy ship. A ship of people that genuinely will look out for each other. There's so many layers about this movie that I really feel like I should rewatch it at some point with eyes that have already seen it and kind of see what else I notice. But just from the way that it does establish the characters in the ways that it does in the short amount of time that it had, I think bravo. And just the multiple levels of twists, so to speak, at the end, where, you know, hey, we're happy that he's not being hanged, but we shouldn't be entirely happy because now, you know, they could have done more, or Captain Queeg's going to lose his reputation that he fought hard to earn. Yeah. And that and the revelation that, holy shit, we've been taken on a ride by this asshole, Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of layers to this movie, a lot of depth to the characters and to the story. Yeah, I loved it. Highly recommend watching this.
Definitely
movie.
highly recommend. Also, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I do have one question though. Would you consider this a piece, not like full on, but like, is this a part, like somewhat propaganda for the Navy?
I didn't read it that way at all. I don't know how it would.
I mean, it was officially sponsored by the Navy. And
yes, that is worth noting. It was officially sponsored by.
You think the Navy wanted this to show like what war can put you through? Maybe just like that.
Maybe, and if that's the case, then that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, I wouldn't consider that if it's going to show some, the mental health ramifications of battle and long-term military service. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't look at it as propaganda. I think I looked at it as, kind of an interesting, what are our thoughts of being in the military? I always think of not Saving Private Ryan, but more so like a Full Metal Jacket, or where your commanding officers are no nonsense.
Yeah.
There is no room for any kind of dissent. Anybody who stands out, will be punished.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to think, even if it's kind of a little romanticized in this movie, that the way we see the Caine in the beginning is how many ships were during World War II. Because again, this wasn't a military conflict where you were sending teenagers to Vietnam for some unknown reason or very vague reason.
Yeah.
This was a very specific, threat that people intrinsically joined the military to fight.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about. Could you think of doing that these days?
No.
Me neither.
I'd be dead.
Me neither.
In training camp. I would die.
Me too. So I kind of like that it's not necessarily lighthearted, but it's not Full Metal Jacket first half.
Yeah. Because when I think of military, I think like MASH, where
sure, there you
really
go.
like there's some uptight people and like it's really just a whole hoo-ha, it's just like everybody doesn't know what they're doing. It's a madhouse,
Yeah, sure.
War is hell, and so the military is hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like that. And this does show the military in a different light. Like, yes, like it is the military, like granting everything tradition, like we see the graduation ceremony, all that stuff, all traditional and stuff like that. And like, they give you like, especially Robert Francis, like this is what the military should be and stuff like that. But it really shows you like this is not what the military should be. The military could be a multitude of things.
That's a good point. Yeah, and keep in mind too, this is only one ship of the entire. We don't see any other ships operations. Except
there's probably multiple ships that have run just like how people write character once,
Yeah, exactly.
And it works,
Exactly. So it's kind of nice knowing that they're out there. It's like the end of The Big Lebowski. It's nice knowing he's out there taking things easy for us all.
Yeah.
For all us sinners.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it. It's nice knowing that DeVries is out there, not losing his cool about someone's shirt not being tucked in.
Yeah.
There are bigger fish to fry.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see it as propaganda, did you?
Not really, no.
Good.
I just thought I'd bring that up because this is sponsored by the Navy. We did get the Hollywood ending, whereas it's like, oh, everything's all hunky-dory now.
Enlist now.
Enlist now?
Enlist now.
Enlist now. Okay.
Enlist.
Enlist now. Enlist now. Yes. Yeah, we did get the Hollywood...
We should have watched that Simpsons episode.
Yeah, we should have watched that Simpsons episode, yeah. Yeah. So we did get the big Hollywood ending. Like, oh, we're at the Navy now. Everything's happy. But, besides that, I wouldn't say this is really propaganda for the military to get recruiters or anything like that. Yeah. But it just shows, like, the hardship that the military could go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Okay, so those are our thoughts on the Caine Mutiny. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see what else other people thought. Roger Ebert did not review this one, because it was in 1954. He would have been, I don't know, in his teens maybe, or something like that. So he didn't review this. His website did review the newest Caine Mutiny court trial movie, but I did not read that. So I got Letterboxd reviews. So Letterboxd average star score was 3.7. Some reviews for it. Rushman gave it 4 stars. Strawberry Gate. That's what he wrote. Mitch gave it 2 stars and a half. Struggled to tell the characters apart. It is true, especially in the beginning. It's all just white dudes, and they all have like the same kind of haircut and everything. Paul Stannis gave it 4 stars. The Caine Mutiny stands out as a surprisingly bad military story. Look for Lee Marvin as a guy called Meatball.
Yes, Lee Marvin was in it as Meatball.
Lee Marvin, he has to kill somebody.
I know, and he didn't.
He didn't. No. Oh, Meatball. We love it.
I know. That actually caught me off guard. I had to look up and see if that was indeed Lee Marvin.
It was Lee Marvin.
Yes.
Yep. Brett Disney gave this 4 stars. Ensign, did you kiss your mother on the mouth as an adult and say, goodbye, sweetheart? May has a point there.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the Letterboxd reviews.
I love all you Letterboxd reviewers.
Yes, thank you.
Those were so good.
Exactly. Amazing. Okay, so that's the most reception I can think of right now. But let's go on to the awards season. This was 1954. This was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Screenplay, Best Film Editing, Best Music Score of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture, and Best Sound Recording.
I can't wait to hear how many it won.
It won 0.
Yes.
None. It didn't win any. No. This was the year of On the Waterfront.
That would be why.
That would be it, yes. Marlon Brando's great picture. I've never seen On the Waterfront. I think it's another war picture, so there were 2 war pictures during that time. And On the Waterfront, I believe, is more iconically known throughout the history of cinema.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, so this was the big year for On the Waterfront. But also, other nominees were, of course, The Caine Mutiny, The Country Girl, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and 3 Coins in the Fountain. Okay, 2 films I've not heard of, and...
Yeah, well, when you say On the Waterfront, that's kind of like...
that's one of the great, American films, right?
Yeah,
On the Waterfront.
absolutely.
It goes it's up there with The Godfather, Casablanca, you think, On the Waterfront, yeah. Maybe not as huge as The Godfather or Casablanca, but definitely On the Waterfront, they think of masterpiece, think of that, definitely.
Yeah, I guess I can't be too mad about that. But hey, you got your answer though. Best actor was Humphrey Bogart. He was nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah. And of course, my guess, Marlon Brando won for Best Actor. Yeah, definitely. It didn't really sweep the Oscars. There was some, I think somebody won Best Supporting Actor for The Country Girl. I don't think On the Waterfront won Best Supporting Actress or anything, or actress. Yeah, but it definitely won, I think it won Director, I think it won Picture, I think it won Actor, definitely. It won, probably a bunch of other things. So mostly it was like the Oppenheimer of its time. It's just it's just going to bowl away with, a lot of the major categories, definitely.
Fair.
Yeah.
Did you see who was nominated for Supporting Actor, by the way,
No.
for this one? Tom Tully.
Who the fuck is Tom
Tully played DeVries. And he's great in it.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. No Fred McMurray. No Van Johnson.
The guy who played
Jose
the captain
Ferrar,
in the first part was nominated.
Yeah.
That's
he
weird.
was the one that was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Even back then, the Academy Awards was fucked up. Damn.
That is fucked up, man.
That is weird.
I mean, the whole cast is great.
Yeah.
I really will say.
He was in the movie for, even less time than Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the best films, the top 10 films of 1954 based on box office. Once again, take these with a grain of salt. I do not know if these are correct or not. Number 1, White Christmas. The good old Bing Crosby. Actually, a good movie. I watched it when I wrap presents sometimes. It's
nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is not the Poseidon Adventure, which I always confuse those two about.
Poseidon Adventure is good.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I've not seen 20,000 Leagues.
What is that one about? That one's also about a ship, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's a naval thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a submarine, I think. But
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. 3 is Demetrius and the Gladiators. I want to say a Ray Harryhausen flick, but I don't think so at all. 4, Rear Window. A Boy Jimmy.
Love that
Jimmy
movie.
Stewart. Great movie. Amazing.
The guy across the way is killing his wife.
I'm watching from the rear window. Oh.
That's right.
5 was the Caine Mutiny. It grossed $21 million on a $2 million budget.
Cool.
6, Gone with the Wind, re-release from 19...
Oh, jeez.
A movie
So it
from
was the
1939.
Avatar of its time.
Yeah.
It was the Avatar of its time. Jeez.
I really think they re-release Gone with the Wind every 20 years or so.
Yeah, probably.
Just just to watch Gone with the Wind again. Yeah. Number 7, The Egyptian. Number 8, The High and the Mighty. Number 9, surprisingly, On the Waterfront.
Wow.
And 10 was Desiree.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Desire with 2 E's. Let's say Desiree. What is that spell?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's Desiree.
Desiree, yeah.
So it's the time-honored tradition of the Academy picking, their Academy's movies not being the most popular.
Well, it was 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 is still impressive, especially for the time period. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
although I think people actually went to the movie more back then. Than
they did.
Now.
Yeah. And because tickets were cheaper back then, they're like probably 10 cents. Or
well, they didn't
5
have
cents.
shit to do.
That's true. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So like $21 million is a lot of money back then. Like if a film goes $21 million now, it would be like nothing.
Like how impressive would it be to like, oh guys, we got to put down our malts and go check out these moving pictures.
Having a malt. Never had a malt.
Me neither.
Is that just a milkshake? What is a malt? Is there a difference between a milkshake and a malt?
Let's see. I think it's just a milkshake.
I think it's like a powder or something. I don't know. Every time I look up, like, there's always this one clip on YouTube about a guy who makes like old school Coca-Cola, just puts the syrup in and puts like the bubble waters in. Yeah.
A malt is a milkshake made with the addition of malted milk powder. I love powdered milk.
Powdered milk.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Okay, so anyway, that was the top 10 films of 1954. Let's go on to some fun facts. The U.S. Navy were never happy about the depiction of Captain Krieg as a madman in the novel, with the implication that he would hire or keep in a place someone so clearly deranged. Mm-hmm. The film version skirted around this rather than be an issue by making Krieg a victim of battle fatigue or PTSD.
I think it's even better.
Yeah.
I think it's actually really... I'm sure that the book doesn't portray him as a madman for no reason.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with the explanation.
Yeah, me too. The white cream on the officers put on the face in the combat is anti-flash cream. Was designed to protect their faces from skin burns from the fireballs of the ship shells.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There was considerable opposition to casting Humphrey Bogart. He was much older than Captain Krieg was supposed to be in the book. In addition, unfortunately, Bogart was diagnosed with cancer, and would not be... He was already seriously ill with cancer, but he would not be diagnosed until January 1956, so that's why his film career kind of ended in the mid-50s.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand his last few years were not great.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But his performance was a tour de force, according to the crew and the film technicians. Everybody was captivated by it, and they gave him a round of applause after he was done with it.
He's fantastic.
He was great in it. It was amazing, yeah. And he definitely deserved that. Okay, so that was the Caine Mutiny.
That was.
I am all mutiny out, but we have not done with the mutinies, TJ, because we still have one more mutiny left, and that is the Canine Mutiny.
The Canine Mutiny.
That's right. We actually have something for this episode. We have watched the Simpsons episode that inspired the name of that Simpsons episode.
That's right. This is the Canine Mutiny from season 8 of The Simpsons, which I would consider the end of the golden era personally.
Yeah.
9 and 10 are still very good, but I think this is when The Simpsons peaked. This one...
Yes, okay, yes. This is episode 20 of season 8. Mm-hmm. Original air date was April 13th, 1997. I was 2. No, I was still 1.5.
I was 6.
Oh, okay.
I was 6.
The chalkboard gag was a fire drill does not demand a fire.
Nice.
Yeah. And the couch gag was folded out, was a bed folded out with Grandpa Simpson in it, and Grandpa only yelled the other word, huh, before the Simpsons folded him into the couch and they sat down.
That's elder abuse right there.
That is elder abuse, but it's the Simpsons, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, yes.
So, this is, like I said, the prime of the show, in my opinion. I guess I could do a synopsis.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I did write one here.
Okay.
It says, when Bart fraudulently obtains a charge card and purchases an expensive, highly trained collie named Laddie, he sends Santa's little helper back with the repo man in Laddie's place once his creditors come for his belongings. Over time, Bart begins to miss Santa's little helper and goes on a trek to find him. Mm-hmm. He finds that Santa's little helper has been adopted as a seeing eye dog for a blind man, or just a companion for a blind man. And he eventually proves that Santa's little helper loves him more than the blind man, so he gets to take him home. We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Where we've had to out-loyal a blind man with a dog.
True, yes.
Yeah.
Matt Groening loves the sad dog episodes.
He does. He really has a thing for sad dog episodes.
Yeah.
Although this one's notably less sappy than the Futurama one, thank God.
I wouldn't say this was the best Simpsons episode ever, but, you know, it's still high quality, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so to me, this is one of the more forgettable of the Prime.
True.
You know, I really only remembered it because of the name. The Canine
Mutiny, yeah.
It's one that I was excited to rewatch because it's not one that I've rewatched too many times. I think part of that is just the high quality of the episodes around this that they were doing.
True. Yeah, we had the Lisa Babysitter one, which is
Lisa Babysitter
fantastic.
one. This season also has when Homer's a boxer and he fights Tatum.
That's a great one.
It has the X-Files one.
Oh, that's...
The one with Johnny Cash as the wolf when he goes on a trip from the Pepper.
Yeah.
It's got the hurricane, when the hurricane destroys Flanders' home.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's a great one. It's got, one of the most polarizing of all time and potentially my favorite of all time, Homer's Enemy with Frank Grimes.
Oh, yeah.
Love that episode.
That's great, yeah.
So this one definitely falls to the background of season 8 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think part of it too is that there is a guest voice. Do you know who the guest voice is in this?
Frank Weller?
Yeah, Frank Welker. Played Laddie.
Who is Frank
What a
Welker?
career. Frank Welker, he's the guy that did he did the voice of Fred, I know, from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, really?
But he's also very famous for doing like dog voices in old, like Astro or Dino.
Oh, really?
Dino from the Flintstones, I believe. So he's kind of had like an interesting career of doing animal voices, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Other stuff too. Yeah, he was the Jabberjaw, if you ever heard.
Yeah, Jabberjaw.
Yeah, he was the Jabberjaw. He played Nibbler on Futurama. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. Curious George.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
He's done a ton of shit. Oh, he actually, I guess, does Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 2 on The Simpsons.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so what a career.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Frank Welker as Laddie.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have to talk about this episode too much.
Yeah, there was some good jokes.
Do you have a best gag?
I'm trying to remember all the gags. We just watched it too.
Yeah, I wrote my
I do love. My favorite gag is when Lisa comes into the room she suspects Bart of doing something bad, but she's still hopped up on pep pills. She's like,
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can be high on pep pills and be suspicious. How dare you?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That was good. He got her the caffeine pills so she can stay up and work on her homework.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite gag, and it's one that I kind of quote any chance I get, is when Bart goes to the Repo Depot, the place that repossessed all his stuff so he can try and find Santa's Little Helper. Mo, the bartender, is in line ahead of him, trying to get his bar floor back.
They're walking on a pipe.
My patrons are walking on pipes, and the guy at the Repo Depot says, "Well, pay your bills." And Mo says, "But I don't wanna." that is my favorite gag of the episode.
That's a good one, yeah. Yeah. So it was a good episode for not the best of season 8, of course, but I would say. Definitely of the lower tier of the golden age of The Simpsons.
If I were to rank it out of 6 on the Simpsons scale, on the Simpsons scale specifically, I'd give it a 3.5.
I'd give it like a 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, there's been some cultural references in the show, of course, as always is. For this episode, of course, the title refers to the Caine Mutiny. Laddie is a riff on Lassie. You Really Got Me by the Canes is played when Marge gets the frying pan / radio. Jammin' by Bob Marley is played at the very end.
The ending is great.
The ending is amazing.
When Laddie comes in with the police to the blind man's house because he called the police because Bart broke into his house.
Yeah.
And Laddie starts, palling up to the blind man and you think, oh, this is how they're going to end it, where Bart's going to get Santa's Little Helper back and this blind man is going to get Laddie, but it turns out Laddie just was sniffing the marijuana, that dirty marijuana in the guy's pocket. And so the cops decide to stay and have a party with him.
Yep.
That was a great gag.
That was one. Repo Depot is loosely based on the Repo Company in Repo Man, the 1984 film. Mr. Mitchell's house, 57 Mount Auburn Street, is one of the addresses of the Harvard Lampoon. And the Dead Parrot is a reference to the Dead Parrot sketch in Monty Python. Which I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I guess that counts, yeah. The reception of this episode, it was okay. It was like, it says that the episode ending with Chief Wiggum and Lou singing along with Jammin' is often cited as one of the best ones.
It is great.
And the best endings in The Simpsons.
It is great.
And Josh Weinstein, one of the writers of The Simpsons, who's been on it for years, producers also, I believe, he said one of his favorite lines is, there, shut up, boy, when Homer says it.
When he's trying to comfort Barney.
Yeah.
Shut up, boy.
Yeah, shut up, boy. Yeah, and so that was the Caine Mutiny.
Solid episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got plenty more where that came from when we do some of your more movies. Okay?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But who knows what lies next for us?
Who knows?
Do we know?
We don't know yet. But we can see now.
As we spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Let's spin the wheel now. Here we go! And the wheel says, Vengeance is Mine. One of my movies. Says, get ready to watch a man who have never seen a Japanese film we have never seen before by a man we do not know.
Oh, this is going to be something.
This is going to be something. We're going to expand our horizons, TJ. Go to more parties. Definitely.
That's the goal.
Well, this is the end of our show. Thank you for listening. If you like us, please like, subscribe, rate us, do whatever you need to do to get us out there. We're on SoundCloud, we're on Spotify, and we're on YouTube. If we're on any more, we'll tell you. I'm not going to be on iTunes. I don't want to pay $20 a month. Hell no. Already paying enough for the other things. Yeah. I ain't doing that. No. If you like us, follow us on our Twitter page at it_dammit. X page, it_dammit. Hopefully I'm not banned from that one, because I did get account banned for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. We'll see that. We'll try to post more on that. I know we stopped for a little bit because I was lazy, but I'll try to post more on that. We're also on Facebook with the page, It's Still Did Us, because Facebook hates swearing for some reason. Loves bullying, hates swearing. But go check us out there. So thank you for listening. I'm Mo, and I'm still in the Navy.
And I'm TJ, and I think I'm going to go join the Navy.
Cool. I think I'm joining the Army.
Thanks for every serviceman's service.
Yep, thank you, by the way.
Service people's service.
Service people's service. Thank you for servicing us. Service.
And a happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Remember the reason for the season.
Definitely. All right, let's have Robert Mitchum play us out. See ya!